Chapter 21. 4 Stories. The wind whipped around Allie's body with a fury. She went from a crawl to a slow walk as she pressed her back on the brick behind her. She looked down and saw nothing past the toes of her shoes but the chaos in the streets below. She was up here, 4 stories up, and she was ready to end this. She looked down at the onlookers with the cameras and the people who had that grim desire to see what was happening, but she didn't care. She just stared down as the thought ripped through her mind, just as the wind was whipping around her shaking body. She didn't suffer from vertigo in the least, but still, she wanted this to be on her own, and not just a tragic wind accident. Allie looked down again, and as the people took on insect size, she thought of her brother. She remembered them running around with their cameras, setting up shots with their dolls and action figures, making 8mm movies with the best of them. Years later, he would stop such childish things. She thought of her parents, who wanted her to be something different than what she wanted to be. They told her to put away those childish dreams, that being in that business wasn't a possibility for real folks. She was starting to get a little teary-eyed in anticipation now as she thought of Ryan, her boyfriend. She liked how he was interested in the stories she would write, but she was dismayed by his being nothing more than a placating attempt to get her into bed more quickly. She wasn't good at anything other than being other people's concept of what she should become. She didn't want to live like this anymore. She didn't want to be in someone else's cookie-cutter world. She wanted to stand on her own 2 feet, which were now moving precariously closer to the edge of the tall building she was on. She hated that the negativity towards her goals was nothing more than the result of her detractors' own failures. She got that, but still. It made it all more frustrating when their hang-ups made her goals impossibly frustrating to reach. To the people that criticized her works, to the rest of the negative people in her life, she only had this one last, final swan song. She placed her palms on the wall behind her and took a long, deep breath. She closed her eyes and felt the wind kissing her face and playing with her hair. She cleared her mind and found an inner peace as her feet inched closer and closer to the edge. And she jumped. Allie fell gracefully into the air mattress on the street. "And cut!" the director said as everyone applauded her jump. "Allie, that was amazing. As an actress, you're kind of insane." Allie just smiled. "Insanity is not doing what you love," she said as she grabbed her coffee from the small table.